Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the third chapter in civics, which is state government. In the last class, we have seen the introduction part, what is government, constituencies, then elections for the state government. Finally, we have seen state legislature. Synopsis of the lesson. In this session, we are going to see state legislature, the governor, member of legislative assembly, chief minister, powers of the chief minister. Next, we are going to learn about functions of the legislative assembly. Under this, we have to make laws, passing of budget, controlling the executive, then state legislative council. Finally, we are going to see people and governance. Students, we have already discussed about state legislature, right? So, the state legislature consists of the governor and one or two houses. Some states have two houses. The first one is lower house or legislative assembly, that is Vedhan Sabha, and the second one is upper house or legislative council, that is Vedhan Parishad. If the state has one house, it is known as unicameral, whereas the bicameral states have two houses. Next, we are going to learn about the term bicameralism in government. Bicameralism, which means bi means two, camera means chamber. So, it is the practice of having two legislative or parliamentary chambers. Thus, a bicameral parliament or bicameral legislature is a legislature which consists of two chambers or houses. Now, we are going to learn about legislative council. Parliament has two houses. One is Rajya Sabha and the another one is Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the upper house and Lok Sabha is the lower house. In this lesson, we are going to concentrate only at state level. At state level, we have two houses. The first one is Legislative Assembly. It is considered as the lower house, which is also known as Vedhan Sabha. The other one is Legislative Council. It is the upper house, that is Vedhan Parishad. In some states, we have both the houses, so those states are called bicameral states. If there is only one house, that is, if there is only legislative assembly, then that it is called unicameral state. Unicameral state has only one house, that is legislative assembly. It has no legislative council. When both the houses are present in the state, then it is called bicameral state. First, let's see about the governor. The governor is a constitution's head of the state government. So, who is the head of the state government? The governor is a constitution's head of the state government. He or she is appointed by the president of the country and holds office at the pleasure of the president. So, the governor is appointed by the president of the country and he or she, here he or she refers to the governor holds office at the pleasure of the president. Next, we are going to see qualifications to become a governor. To be nominated as a governor, a person has to be a citizen of India and must be above the age of 35 years. That is, to be the governor, a person must be a citizen of India and he should have completed 35 years of age. Then he or she cannot be a member of either House of the Parliament or a state legislature. So he cannot be a member of the Parliament or the state legislature. Let me explain this point. So he should not either be an minister, that is member of Parliament, or he should not be an MLA, that is member of Legislative Assembly. Then he or she cannot hold any other office of profit. So he should not have any financial income either by business. Next, we are going to learn about the powers of governor are as follows. The first one is executive power of the state is with the governor, who exercises it either directly or through the chief minister. The next one is the governor appoints the chief minister and other members of council of ministers on the advice of chief minister. Then he or she also appoints the advocate general and other officers of the state. Then every bill passed by the legislature has to be approved by the governor before it can become a law. First, we have to know what is mean by a bill. Bill means proposal for a law is called bill. So, every bill passed by the legislature has to be approved by the governor before it can become a law. Then he or she addresses the legislature and has the right to dissolve it. Students, now let us read about the various aspects which pertain. Here, pertain means related. So, now we are going to read about the various aspects which related to the forming of a democratic government of the state. Next, let's see about member of Legislative Assembly, that is MLA. Every 5 years, election is announced for State Legislative Assembly. Political parties nominate their people for each constituency. All members of the Legislative Assembly are elected on the basis of adult franchise, and one member is elected from one constituency. A member of Legislative Assembly, that is MLA, is a representative elected by the voters of an electoral district, which means constituency, to the legislature of a state in the Indian system of government. To be member of the Legislative Assembly, a person must be a citizen of India. Then he must be at least 25 years of age and must have such other qualification as may be prescribed by the President. Next, we are going to learn about member of Legislative Assembly, that is MLA, the elected representative of the people from a constituency, becomes a member of the State Legislative Assembly, that is MLA, for 5 years. Students, in the last class we have discussed about the term constituency, right? So what is mean by a constituency? A territorial area from which a candidate is elected. So the elected representative of the people from a constituency becomes a member of the state legislative assembly, that is MLA, for 5 years. Thus, you would understand that there would be a number of MLAs, each representing a constituency of the state. The MLA is also a member of a political party. The party having the majority of MLAs forms the government of the state. So, who forms the government of the state? The party having the majority of MLAs forms the government of the state. In case a single party does not have a clear majority, means 2 or 3 parties join together to form a coalition government. We have already discussed about the term coalition government. Coalition government means a government formed by group of political parties that decide to work together. So, in case a single party does not have a clear majority, means 2 or 3 parties join together to form a coalition government. Then those MLAs who do not belong or support the majority party are known as the opposition, which means opposition party. Opposition party means a party which opposes the policies of the ruling party. Then they attend meetings in the legislative assembly and give their critical views on bills and laws being discussed and passed in the assembly. Next, we are going to learn about Chief Minister. The leader of the majority party is invited by the governor of the state to become the Chief Minister. In case no political party has gained absolute majority, means the governor can invite one member who in his or her opinion can command a majority through coalition. How is a coalition government formed? Coalition government is formed in a situation when one political party fails to get majority of seats. In this situation, a number of parties join together to form the government. Next, we are going to learn about powers of the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister, that is CM, is the real executive authority in the state administration. The Chief Minister heads the Council of Ministers and allocates. Here, allocates means allots departments to them. Then, the ministers are answerable for the performance of the departments under their charge and to make sure that the policies are implemented properly. Here, implemented means fulfilled properly. So, the ministers are answerable for the performance of the departments under their charge and to make sure that the policies are implemented, which means fulfilled properly. The CM convenes and presides over cabinet meetings and exercises general supervision and control over all the ministers. Here, Convenes means come or bring together for a meeting or activity. Preside means be in the position of authority in a meeting. So, the CM convenes and presides over cabinet meetings and exercises general supervision and control over all the ministers. The CM is the main link between the governor and the state cabinet. If the CM is not happy with the minister, he can ask the minister to resign or he can drop him from the council by reshuffling it. Here, reshuffling means reorganizing. So, the CM is the main link between the governor and the state cabinet. If the CM is not happy with the minister, he can ask the minister to resign or he can drop him from the council by reshuffling, which means reorganizing it. As the presiding officer, so what is mean by preside? Preside means be in the position of authority in a meeting. So, as the presiding officer of the Council of Ministers, the Chief Minister greatly influences its deliberations. Here, deliberations means discussions and decisions. The CM ensures. So, what is mean by ensures? Make sure. So, the CM makes sure that the council works as a team. The CM can recommend the dissolution of the state legislative assembly even before the expiry of its term. Here, dissolution means the action of formally ending or dismissing an assembly. Then, it is the responsibility of the Chief Minister to communicate to the Governor the decisions of the Council of Ministers. Then, all important announcements on behalf of the government are made by the Chief Minister in the Assembly. Then, the CM takes decisions as to when a particular bill is to be introduced in the Assembly. If the Chief Minister resigns, then the entire Council of Ministers have to resign. Next, let's see about collective responsibility. The Council of Ministers are individually as well as collectively responsible to the Assembly. If a particular minister loses the confidence of the Assembly, then all the ministers have to resign. Thus, the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the Legislative Assembly. Then, the legislature exercises control over the ministers by asking questions, passing resolutions, etc. Next, we are going to see functions of the Legislative Assembly. There are three functions of the Legislative Assembly, such as to make laws, passing of budget, then controlling the executive. Functions of the Legislative Assembly. The first function of the Legislative Assembly is to make laws. A proposal to pass a law or to amend an existing one is called a bill. Proposals for a bill are introduced in the Legislative Assembly or the Legislative Council. These proposals are debated or discussed among the members of the Assembly. Then, members may suggest amendments. So what is mean by amendments? Amendments means modifications or changes in any law or proposed law. Then the proposal or bill is put to vote. Once the bill is approved by the authority of the members of the assembly, then it is sent to the other house where it goes through the same procedure. If the state does not have a legislative council, the bill goes directly to the governor for approval. After the governor's approval, a bill becomes a law. In some cases, bills passed by the assembly or referred by the governor to the president. Then money bill can only be introduced in the legislative assembly, while the other bills may be introduced in the legislative council. So money bill can be introduced only in the legislative assembly, whereas the other bills can be introduced or may be introduced in the legislative council. So as a whole, how does bill become a law? Proposal for a bill are introduced in the legislative assembly or council. Then these proposals are debated. After that, members suggest amendments and then it is put to vote. Then once it is approved, then it is sent to other house where it goes through the same procedure. After approval, it goes to governor for his approval, and after approval, it becomes a law. Next, let's see about passing of budget. First, we have to know what is mean by budget. Budget means planning of the income and expenditure of the government. Budget is like a future account of the government. It gives out proposals of income and expenditure of the government. The budget is presented by the finance minister, who explains the economic policy of the state government to the members of the house. Then members take part in the debate on the proposals in the budget, and then the budget is put to vote for passing it. This is then implemented. Next, we are going to learn about controlling the executive. The members of the assembly control the executive, that is, council of ministers and chief minister, by asking questions, giving them inputs and feedback on policies and implementation at lower levels of government. Next, we are going to learn about state legislative council. In our country, there are some states which have two houses of the legislature, that is, legislative assembly and legislative council. The members of the legislative council are not directly elected by the people of the state, but by different bodies of the state. This is a permanent body. The members are elected for a term of 6 years. 1/3 of the members retire every 2 years, and these seats are filled by fresh elections. Then the legislative council is mainly an advisory body. The legislative council is present in Jammu and Kashmir, Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh. Next, we are going to learn about people and governance. First, we have to know the new term, that is governance. Governance means the act or process of governing or overseeing the control and direction of something, such as a country or an organization. In a democracy, the basic essence is the government of the people, by the people and for the people. While we saw how the people formed their government and how they govern, let us now see how the aspect of for the people comes into play. People have the right to know how and what the government is doing for them. This is done by the ministers and their representatives by using the media, by holding press conferences and public rallies where they share the various policies and performance of the government with the people. So first we have to know what is mean by press conference. Press conference means a conference where the representatives of the media interact with the people or the authority who calls for the conference. Next, we have to know what is mean by public rally. A rally is a large public meeting that is held in order to show support for something, such as a political party. After this, the people form their opinion if the government's policies suits their requirements and leads to their welfare or not. Here, welfare means well-being. Then the leaders of the opposition parties then go to the public in different forms and convey their views as to whether the government has done its job effectively. They do this through press conferences, public debates, media debates, public rallies, or organizing protest marches. Students, you may have seen or heard of strikes by opposition parties which led to closure. So here, closure means an act or process of closing something. In simple words, closure means closing. So, which led to closing of shops, schools, public transport, etc. So, these are ways by which the public may express their views and convey their grievances. Grievances means complaints to the government. So, the government is thus made aware and is expected to make amendments. Amendments means changes or resolve the problems of the country. If the government does not perform as per the wishes of the people, then they might not get elected again. Therefore, every government has to ensure, which means to make sure, that their policies and functioning are for the welfare of the people as well as liked by the people. Next, we are going to learn about press conference. Students, here we can see the picture of press conference. Students, do you know what is mean by press conference? Press conference is a conference where media representatives are invited to interact with the ministers or spokesperson of the government. The media personnel, here personnel means people employed in an organization. In simple words, personnel means staff or employees. So, the media staffs or employees are given out a detail of various actions, policies and views of the government on any specific aspect. The correspondence, here correspondence means reporters or journalists or other media persons ask questions on that issue and then report it in the print or electronic media for the information of the public. Normally, the spokesperson provides a handout to the media persons in these conferences so that there is factual correctness in their reports. So, as a whole, in this chapter, you learned how the state government is created and how it functions. In a democratic form of government, it is important to know these aspects as the government is made by members of the society for their general well-being. They have the right to see that the people elected by them work for the fulfillment of their goals. The government maintains a link with the electorate. So, electorate means people by a two-way process in which they convey to the masses. Here, masses means the common people, what they are doing for them, and the masses, so the masses means the common people convey back what they want from them. I have enclosed the classwork instructions in the PDF. Kindly refer it. So now we have reached the end of this session. Thank you.